So this is one of the ways in which people are rethinking the economic system in an interesting way. There's another example I really like because they gave me free coffee. I have a really nice bottle that says P2P coffee, and on the other side it has my name, so it's perfect. So this is a community in Rio de Janeiro called Curto Café. The person who founded this was an executive in a coffee company, and he said, and this was certainly the case 15 years ago, he said, in Brazil, we can't have good coffee because grade A and B, the best, went for export, and the people who make the coffee are starving. This is not normal. So his question was, how can we make good coffee and create a livelihood for the people who make the coffee? And here's what they did. So they said, okay, we don't believe in certification. Let's just show what we do. So open accounting and open supply chain. So you can know where does the coffee come from what person, and how much they paid. The second step is open research. At the time they had 4 blends, and they explain on the internet how you can make your own coffee in these 4 different blends. Here it becomes interesting. Crowd-funded retail expansion. Because they're a community. So they ask on Facebook, do you want to have a coffee shop in this particular neighborhood? And they actually succeed in getting rent for 2 years. And then they rent the place. And the people who paid, invested in the crowdfunding get free coffee. So they're paid back in coffee, right? Then they hacked the Nespresso machines and these little tubes, so they can actually use these good machines and change the little things and put their coffee inside. So why is this interesting? Because you can see here people who have totally rethought coffee. There's no company. This is post-capitalism. They're operating in the market, but this is not capitalism. It's something different, right? So these kind of things are happening worldwide. In many different places, people are rethinking supply chains, value chains. So here is one incident that I had with them, because I was always asking, but how do you make your money? I've been in business for 30 years, so I'm a bit obsessed, and I was poor, and I'm still poor now. And so I was asking, but how do you make money? And he got nervous, and at one point he told me, Michel, this is not the right question. He said, we want to make good coffee and make a living from it. So they don't think the same way. So what they think is, how can we make good coffee, and what resources do we need to make the good coffee? And most of these resources are available without money. So we get them that way. And some things we need money for, and then we use money. But you see, they just turn it around. And I've met people in that network that would tell me that they really work with these 8 kinds of capital. I forgot what they were, but you have social capital, reputational capital, financial capital. You have people in Brazil, they don't say like in Europe, like I do open source. No, they say I am P2P. They have a consciousness, a subjectivity, which is fundamentally already different from what we experience. And we are just doing open source, and they're just living a P2P life. I'm not saying this is the whole of Brazil, but by no means. But I was there 1 month, and I can tell you, I met P2P in the favelas, in the lower middle class, in the upper middle class, and in the 1%. I've visited places where they had totally innovative practices at all levels of society. And this, for me, I always say to Janice that Brazil is the most P2P country so far that I've seen. And why is that? Because they don't have legacy systems like us. So they can go directly, from leapfrog to these new ways of thinking.